Alright, since I already have my camera up and cranking from the video from the Lolita vlog, let's just do the Resident. I'm going to talk about Resident Evil, but first I want to cover some of the theories that have been going around for The Last of Us. Now there's been some interesting chat amongst Last of Us fans that not so much the thing I said that when they got chased out of Joel's brothers. I forget what his name is. I want to say Billy Bob, but I know that wasn't the name. That Joel's brother and his wife, they lose their little factory or whatever, their electrical plant that they were running, and they get chased out of there, and they barely get out with their lives, and that's possibly why Ellie's like, I want revenge. But a lot of talk has gone around. I just watched some one thing where it was an IGN nor rent thing where they were like, Ellie's hand is like kind of like shaking before she plays the guitar, and like it's possible that the cordyceps in her brain that's keeping her from getting infected might be mutating and causing her to probably finally begin the process of changing. And something about a tree had claw marks, which probably means that the clickers and et al. Mutants have probably mutated into something worse. Maybe there's a worse infection out there. We don't know. I wasn't too into that because maybe it's affecting animals, because it didn't seem like it was affecting any of the animals, so maybe now it's starting to affect animals too. So that could be something. Maybe it was like a really fucked up clicker. I don't know. It's just, that's all for speculation. The one very one that I've heard a couple times now is that Ellie is, because her brain could be mutating because of whatever is going on with her infection slash mutation that's keeping her from changing. It could be that she killed Joel by accident, or Joel is somehow dead, and that's why she wants revenge, because she might not have killed Joel, but somebody else might have killed Joel, and Joel is a ghost. The one thing I watched on IGN, I'll post a link to that, went real in depth, like something about the angles of the camera. You could always see two people talking, and now you don't even see Joel's face, and I don't know. That's actually a really cool theory. I don't know. I don't know if I would kind of want to see it go in that direction, but if that's the direction they're going in, then that's the direction they're going in. Some news came out of Last of Us yesterday that the people who worked on Westworld on HBO, I have not watched Westworld. I'm surprised my husband hasn't watched Westworld. That seems like the kind of shit he would eat up with a huge fucking wooden spoon. He hasn't even watched it, so I'm kind of shocked there. But the people who wrote for Westworld are supposedly supposed to be working on writing for The Last of Us. So we will see what happens with it. It's an interesting theory. I'm just hoping that it's good. I know it probably will be good, because even the trailer just started out like really juice-tastic. So I have high expectations for The Last of Us. I still would have rather not seen that have a sequel. It was, in my mind, it was perfect where they left it. But if they're going to have a sequel, then... But you know what? I was thinking about it. If you're going to have a sequel, that's the way to do the shit. The game came out in 2013. 2013. We are heading into 2017. So 14, 15, 16, 17. That's 4 years. If you're going to wait to do a sequel, wait 4 years. Because then everybody gets it kind of flushed out their system, and it's making a resurgence. Like, I've seen like all kinds of, oh, we replayed The Last of Us and la-di-da. Like, let everybody get it out of its system. Let them think it. Like, okay, well, maybe it's not happening. I think, isn't that what I said a couple not entries, not episodes. Well, episodes back about Shinji, that he wanted to do that with Resident Evil. He wanted to wait 5 years to do the sequel, Resident Evil 2. He wanted to wait 5 years, but Capcom was so wet for it that pretty much now they got to do what the fuck they're doing, which I'm about to talk about them in a second. So that's how you make a sequel. You wait for everybody to have it completely flushed out of their system, and then you come back with some gloriousness. So that's how, if you're going to do a sequel, that's how it should be done. So for as much as I'm kind of like, I really wish they hadn't, if you're going to do it, that is the best way to do it. So there's that. Now, I'm only going to talk about two subjects. Last of Us and Resident Evil. Like, okay, where to begin with Resident Evil? I watched the thing. The guy that I watch a lot of stuff on the Survival Horror Network on YouTube. They're a really great channel. I've been also watching the fuck is that? I had text messaged my brother about it too yesterday. Oh, well, not Walking Dead. Dead Rising 4. That's a mess. And I had asked him, not to sidetrack, because I said I was going to talk about Resident Evil, but not to sidetrack. Dead Rising 4 is a mess. When I watched Dead Rising 3, not only did it not scare me, but I figured out the plot fairly quickly. I figured out the plot to this really quickly. And it's weird listening to sprightly holiday music while you're killing hordes and hordes of zombies. And how many fucking people are supposed to be living in Willamette, Colorado? Because, like, that seems like a small town, and it's like 8 bajillion zombies roaming around, but whatever. So I watched the Survival Horror Network, and they did a good ass job of pouring through those Resident Evil demos. And he figured out what the dummy finger does. If you haven't figured it out by now, which has been almost a week, you use the dummy finger to, you get the I think it's in that fucked up bathroom or next door. It's in that drawer near that fucked up bathroom. There's not vacant, empty journal, and you open it and you use the dummy finger to point to certain things, and it'll put these entries for these cryptic, fucked up, like, riddles. They all go to that thing that was scribbled on the wall: 5 gravestones, but 5 murder victims, but we not telling you where they're buried because yay. It goes to that. So they give you these riddles. When you point to the whatever the riddle's talking about, it'll give you a new entry. In that space from the Twilight where the escape window is, there's a door that you can't open. As you go get those riddles, there'll be like bloody handprints on the door. When you get all the bloody handprints on the door, you can open the door. You get like a rocking chair. It says you're the best ever, and you pick up a dirty coin. The dirty coin is what you use in the game. What the dirty coin does, we don't fucking know yet. We will get there when we get there. Right now, is if you say, the thing says if you save this data on the demo. I don't know how you save data on the demo, so I'm assuming that once you get that coin, it's just saved in there once you finish and you get the good ending. So I don't know, but yeah, that's supposed to be used in the full game. But the thing I kind of it brought me back to, I had to go back and look at an entry. I mean, whatchamacallit, YouTube video I did like quite a few months ago. I think it was like either after Tokyo Game Show or after E3 or something. And pretty much it was telling you all the things Resident Evil 7 wasn't going to have in it. And I had to go back because I was like, wait a minute. I thought they said this wasn't going to have this. So I went back and I found this article. So I think it's from, oh shit, this is from June. This is from E3. This article, Capcom talks about what Resident Evil 7 isn't. I know you can't see it. I know it's glary. But yeah. So, okay, I'm going to reread this. I'm not going to reread the whole thing, but according to an internal interview with game producer Masachika Katawa and director Koji Nakanishi, Resident Evil 7 does not contain the demo. Rather, the demo is a tonal preview of what to expect. That makes sense after you see dude escape out of the window and his whole story was discounted after he had some LSD on him. I don't understand how him having, well, LSD is a hallucinogen, but that's a little too detailed for, like, just to be like, oh, you had like 8 9 or 8/16 of a gram of LSD on you, so we're not gonna listen to you because you were obviously high. So they could have, like, they said they went to investigate, but they didn't find anything. Y'all ain't look, is what the problem was, because their bathroom was fucked up, and there was no amount of scrubbing bubbles gonna fix that. But anyway, Resident Evil 7 does not contain a pre-existing character, does not contain a macho hero character, does not reboot the franchise, does not throw away the series' canonical storyline, does not contain QuickTime events, does not take place on a massive global scale, does not tell some story of supernatural, occult, or ghost story. That is the one that tripped me up, because if it's not a ghost story, then what the fuck is with this dummy finger? You hear, when it points, you hear kids laughing, and then when it scribbles a thing, and you it makes no sense. It's like you're adding a ghost story element after saying you weren't adding a ghost story element. So, like, and the more I think about that dummy finger, I really don't like the ghost story element to it, because there is no ghost story in Resident Evil. Like, there was never any ghosts in Resident Evil. There was always just zombies and mutants and whatever virus of the week was going around. So why the dummy finger points to stuff and children laugh, and then you get a dirty coin after finding all the murder victims, or what the fuck ever. What? So you just said it's not going to. What are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? And that is the other thing. And one of those multiple things they were sending me as part of the ambassador program, they had this one clip of random items that you had to figure out what to do. Is that part of like the dummy finger where you gotta point it at a wall to get like some thing and like some, we won't say ghost, we'll say apparition, which is just a fancy way of saying ghost. Some apparition will lead you to whatever. Why is this a part of Resident Evil? It's my same argument with MGS4. Why did Snake have an emotion meter? That wasn't ever a part of any of the other games. Why is it suddenly a part of the games now? I understand we're trying to do something different. Okay, fine. If that's what you want to do, fine. Just don't say you're not going to do it and then turn around 5 months later and do it. It's like, that's always been my argument. Capcom can't ever stick to one thing, and like, they can't stick to their own word. It's ridiculous. It's my same argument with Jake and the whole Jake thing. Oh, Wesker never knew his son. Wesker knew that the woman who was pregnant with his kid, he knew she was pregnant. He didn't give a shit. He just left. And then they gonna backpedal a few months later. Oh, she never told him. If you're not gonna... Capcom, for real, stick to a fucking plot segment. Basically, she left Jake a note upon her death. It said, I'm sure your father's thinking of you and loves you very much, or something to that effect. If she didn't tell him, why would she leave that note? Because if he didn't know Jake existed, why would she take the time to tell him that when she's dying, I'm sure he loves you and is thinking about you? Capcom, stick to one thing. I would be so happy if you just stuck to one thing. Even if you don't think it works. Just stick with it. So, I don't know. It's just, again, I will watch it. I am not going to buy it. I just don't want to buy it. I am content with watching other people play. At this point, I kind of don't even want my husband to play the final demo. I'm not, it's not that I've seen it in its old hat, but I know he gonna get fucked up with that monster in the basement. And two, I know we're not gonna get all of those. I'm not interested in him walking around that house pointing at shit trying to get the dirty coin. Especially when I know I'm not buying the game. So that's kind of where I am with it. But I don't know. I'll watch it. I really will. I'll watch it enthusiastically and not be judgmental about it. It's just I just kind of wish they would stick to one fucking point and not keep going around the bush. Oh, we're not doing that, but we're doing that. So, I don't know. So, it's always been my problem with Capcom. But that's all I have for right now. It's just real weird, and I guess. I don't know. So I'll see y'all next time. And I guess next time I will elaborate more on Dead Rising 4. It's just Dead Rising 4 is such a mess. And I can't bring myself to talk about it. Let me throw out this before I talk about Dead Rising next time. I fell asleep on every last episode. Like, fell asleep on everyone. And there's like explosions and what have you. And I was still knocked out. So that tells you something. And I figured out what the plot was in the first 15 minutes, which is fucked up. So that's all I have. Until we meet again. Later.